I never thought I'd be the guy struggling to tie his shoes. But there I was, 47 years old, sitting at the edge of my bed, breathing heavily. Not because I had just worked out, but because bending down to tie my sneakers had turned into a small battle. My lower back screamed. My knees popped. My core, what little was left, couldn't stabilize me. I had trained professional athletes, UFC fighters, Olympic hopefuls, but I couldn't even reach my own feet without wincing. That moment shook me, not because I was weak, but because I had ignored a truth most men eventually face, but rarely admit. After 40, your body changes, and most workouts don't change with it. I had spent over 2 decades in the fitness world. I believed in the grind, the sweat, the pain that led to growth. But what I didn't realize was, the training style that gave me muscles in my 20s was now tearing my joints apart in my 40s. The big numbers on the barbell, they didn't impress anyone. When I couldn't sleep from shoulder pain, or missed another hike with my kids because of aching knees, that's when I knew something had to change. Not just for me, but for every man out there who still wants to be strong, functional, and pain-free, long after the six-pack dreams faded. And that's what today's video is about. I'm going to show you 6 compound exercises that, if done consistently and correctly, might be the last 6 you'll ever need. Not because they're flashy, not because they'll go viral on Instagram, but because they work. For your muscles, your mobility, your hormones, your joints, and most importantly, your life. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you trained to be better at living? Not just lifting, not just posing, not just checking your reflection in the gym mirror. I'm talking about real strength. The kind that lets you move a couch without pulling your back. The kind that keeps your balance when you slip on wet stairs. The kind that lets you carry your grandkid without your shoulder giving out. That's the kind of training this video is about. I'll be honest. When I first switched my routine, my ego hated it. I had to lower the weight. I had to slow the reps. I had to focus on technique, not intensity. But a few months in, I wasn't just lifting better. I was living better. I slept deeper. I recovered faster. My energy wasn't gone by 3 p.m. And best of all, my joints felt like they got a second lease on life. Let me introduce you to one of my clients. James, 52, corporate job, dad of 3, used to be a linebacker in college. Then life caught up. Knees flared up, shoulder surgery, and a growing belly he couldn't outrun. When he came to me, he said, "I'm not trying to be ripped. I just want to feel like myself again." So we didn't chase the pump. We chased performance. We ditched the high-rep fluff, the circus workouts, the 3 moves to grow your glutes nonsense. We stuck to 6 compound movements, just 6, and focused on perfect form, progressive overload, and smart recovery. 12 weeks later, James texted me after hiking with his sons for 5 hours straight. First time in years I didn't feel like the old guy slowing everyone down. Thank you. That's the power of the 6 exercises I'm going to share today. They're not just about building mass. They're about building resilience. Now look, there are hundreds of exercises you could do. But as someone who's coached high-level pros, middle-aged dads, and even a few 70-year-olds, let me tell you, you don't need more exercises. You need the right ones. What I'm about to show you is backed by decades of real-world results. Not theory, not trends, not what's hot on TikTok this week. These are movements that light up your hormonal system. Hello, natural testosterone boost. Strengthen your posterior chain. Say goodbye to back pain. Improve your grip, core, and balance. Lifesavers, literally. And give you the body you need, not just the body you want. And before you click away thinking, "I'm too old for this," or "I don't want to get injured," let me say this. Every exercise in this list is scalable. You'll learn safer variations, smarter setups, real coaching cues, not just reps and sets. Because at this stage of life, it's not about training harder. It's about training smarter. So stick with me. In the next few minutes, I'm going to break down each of these 6 moves. We'll talk muscles. We'll talk mechanics. But more than that, we'll talk mindset. Because after 40, your real edge isn't just how much you lift. It's how well you move, how deeply you recover, how fiercely you show up for the people you love. And if you're ready to train like a man with a purpose, not just for the pump, but for the long game, then this video is your blueprint. Let's get started. The 6 exercises that will redefine strength after 40. 1. Deadlift, the foundation of real strength. The deadlift isn't just an exercise. It's a mirror into your body's weaknesses and a tool to fix them. I've coached hundreds of men over 40, and here's what I've seen. Weak hamstrings, dormant glutes, rounded backs, and most of all, fear of the barbell. The name alone, deadlift, intimidates guys who think it means back pain or injury. But here's the truth. When performed with proper form, the deadlift is the single most effective movement to rebuild your posterior chain. The muscles that keep you upright, stable, and pain-free. Story moment. John, 44. Former software engineer. Minor back injury from picking up his toddler. Deadlifting was his nightmare. But after 3 weeks with just a kettlebell and learning how to breathe correctly, John was pulling 135 pounds, pain-free. A month later, I picked up my son yesterday. No brace, no fear, no pain. Just like I used to. Key cues for over 40 lifters. Start light. Even just a PVC pipe or dumbbells. Prioritize hip hinge mechanics over weight. Brace your core like you're about to get punched. Reset every rep. Don't rush. Don't bounce. The deadlift won't just give you strength. It'll give you confidence to move through life again. 2. Bench press. Old school, but not old-fashioned. There's something deeply primal about pressing weight off your chest. But let's get one thing straight. After 40, the bench press is less about ego and more about shoulder integrity. Men in their 40s and 50s often deal with shoulder pain. Years of desk work, poor posture, or lifting like they're still 22. Done wrong. Bench press is a shoulder destroyer. Done right. It's a chest, shoulder, and triceps powerhouse. Story moment. Marcus, 51. Used to bench 225 just for fun in college. Years of rotator cuff pain followed. We scaled back to push-ups with resistance bands. Rebuilt shoulder mobility. 5 weeks later, we brought the bench back. After hitting 185 pain-free, I feel strong again, but in control, not reckless. Tips for men over 40. Warm up your rotator cuff with bands. Keep feet planted, no dancing legs. Touch bar to mid-chest, not your throat. Full grip only. Ditch the suicide grip. You're not trying to impress the gym bros. You're trying to train with pride and walk out with your shoulders intact. 3. Squat. The hormone booster you're neglecting. Most men after 40 avoid squats like they avoid their annual physical. Why? Because squats expose everything. Poor ankle mobility, tight hips, weak glutes, stiff backs. But avoiding squats means avoiding the most anabolic exercise in existence. Squats don't just build legs. They ignite testosterone. They enhance growth hormone. They train your body to move as one unified machine. Story moment. Luis, 48. Pre-diabetic. 30 extra pounds. Hadn't squatted in 20 years. We started with bodyweight box squats. For weeks in, squatting 115 pounds, and his energy, mood, libido, transformed. His words? I haven't felt this much energy since my 30s. I actually enjoy training again. Coach's breakdown. Start with goblet squats to learn depth and form. Knees track over toes, no caving in. Spine stays neutral. Don't chase depth and sacrifice form. Breathe and brace like your spine's under pressure. Squatting is uncomfortable, but discomfort breeds growth. Skip the squat, and you skip the signal that tells your body, stay young. 4. Pull UPS, the back builder that never lies. Want to know how functional a man is over 40? Ask him to do a pull-up. Most can't, and those who try, they yank with their neck. They kip like CrossFitters. They drop with their joints screaming. But properly done, pull-ups build unmatched strength. From your lats to your grip. From your core to your confidence. Story moment. Alan, 55. Retired firefighter. Post-shoulder surgery, no pull-ups. We started with isometric hangs and slow negatives. 6 weeks later, 2 clean reps. 2 months, he hit 8. I didn't just get stronger. I started moving like myself again. Technical tips. Use neutral grip handles if shoulders are sore. Full range only. Arms straight at bottom, chest over bar at top. Lead with the sternum. Think chest to bar. Too heavy? Use bands or an assisted machine. Control is king. Pull-ups reveal your relationship with gravity. Master them, and you master your upper body. 5. Reverse lunge, the secret weapon for joint health. You've probably skipped this one, haven't you? The reverse lunge isn't sexy. It's not a power lift. But if you're over 40, it's a game changer. Why? Because real life happens on one leg at a time. Stairs, hiking, playing with your kids. It's all unilateral. Lunges build real-world strength. Story moment. Devin, 42, loved hiking, but couldn't go 30 minutes without knee pain. We rebuilt his gait with reverse lunges. Soon, his knees stopped hurting. He said, "I feel stable, grounded, like my body is finally working together again." What matters most? Keep torso upright, don't lean forward. Knee track straight, no cave-ins. Focus on control, not depth. Start with body weight, then dumbbells. The reverse lunge, posture fixer, glute builder, joint saver. 6. Dips, the forgotten chest shredder. Tight shoulders, stiff pecs, weak triceps. Sound familiar? Dips, done right, can solve all three. They train multiple pushing muscles and improve shoulder stability. But the key phrase, done right. Most people bounce, swing, or do half reps, and it ends up as shoulder torture. Story moment. Ryan, 49. Months of shoulder impingement from bad dips. We rebuilt the motion with bands, corrected his elbow angle, slowed the tempo. Now, 3 sets of 10 dips. No pain. His words, "My upper body finally looks athletic again." Proper execution. Use parallel bars, not benches. Keep elbows at 45 degrees, not flared out. Go deep, but only if shoulders allow it without pain. Can't do body weight? Start with negatives or assisted dips. Dips build that lean, muscular upper body without wrecking your shoulders. Final thoughts before we move on. These 6 movements, they're not just a workout plan. They're a philosophy, a shift from ego lifting to purpose-driven training, from trying to impress others to protecting your future. I've seen lives change, not just bodies, lives. Because when a man moves better, thinks clearer, lives pain-free, everything changes. His confidence, his relationships, his presence with his kids, his ability to say yes to life again. And it all starts here, with the right 6 movements. We've just begun. Your battle plan, the only workout guide you'll ever need after 40. How do I put this together in a weekly program that fits my life, my recovery, and my goals? If you're anything like the men I coach, you don't have hours to kill in the gym. You've got a job, a family, real responsibilities. And most importantly, you're no longer 22. You can't train like a college athlete and expect to wake up pain-free the next day. You need something sustainable, efficient, progressive, a plan that honors your stage of life, but still pushes you to become the strongest, most resilient version of yourself. So here it is. Checkered flag track 1, beginner blueprint. 12 weeks to rebuild your base. For men who've been away from the gym, recovering from injury, or just want to hit reset and rebuild with purpose. Goals: master form, activate dormant muscles, build connective tissue strength, reignite hormone health. Weekly layout: 3 full body days, non-consecutive. Suggested Monday through Wednesday, Friday. Each day, you'll train all 6 core exercises. 1. Deadlift, 3x10. 2. Bench press, 3x10. 3. Squat, 3x10. 4. Pull up or assisted, 3x5, 8. 5. Reverse lunge, 3x8/leg. 6. Dip or band/negative, 3x6, 10. Rest, 60 to 90 seconds between sets. Load, start light. Prioritize tempo and technique. Think, 3 seconds down, 1 second up. Control is king. Progression plan. Weeks 1 to 2, body weight or light dumbbells. Weeks 3 to 5, plus 5 to 10% load, only if form is pristine. Weeks 6 to 9, add a 4th set to major lifts. Weeks 10 to 12, begin supersets, deadlift plus pull-up. Recovery days, 20 to 30-minute walks. Yoga, stretching, foam rolling. Story intermission. Let me tell you about Greg. He was 46. Hadn't trained since his kids were born 10 years ago. He followed this beginner plan. Didn't miss a day. 12 weeks later, down 18 pounds of fat, up 6 pounds of lean mass. In his words, "I don't feel old anymore. I feel capable." That's the power of progressive consistency. Track 2, the Experienced Warrior Plan. For men who've trained for 1, 2+ years. No major injuries, but ready to level up. Goals: break plateaus, boost total body strength, increase lean mass, protect joints, test real-world endurance. Plan A, strength and stability. Day 1, lower body focus. Deadlift, 4x6. Reverse lunge, 3x8/leg. Dumbbell RDL, 3x10. Core, plank plus farmer carry, 3 rounds. Day 2, upper body focus. Pull up, 4x AMRAP. Bench press, 4x8. Incline push-up, 3x12. A dip, 3x10. Core, hanging leg raise, 3x10. Day 3, conditioning plus mobility. Sled pushes, step UPS, rowing intervals. Then, full body mobility flow. Rest, 90, 120s between heavy sets. Load, up to 80 to 85% of 1 RM from week 4 plus. Plan B, the 10-2-1 challenge. A weekly test of grit and power. Set up 6 stations. Deadlift, bench press, squat, pull up, reverse lunge, dip. Start at 10 reps each, then 9, then 8, all the way to 1. That's 55 reps per movement. Minimal rest. Track your time. Push your pace. Warning, this becomes a full workout. Start light. Story intermission. Robert, 50, CEO, 2 teenage sons. No time for fluff. He did 2 full body days plus 1 10-1 challenge weekly. 6 weeks later, crushed his old pull-up record. His words? It's not just that I'm stronger. I feel like I can handle anything, mentally too. This plan rebuilds more than muscle. It rebuilds character. Optional add-ons, if recovery allows. Day 4, recovery pump. TRX rows, push-ups, split squats, band work. Light circuit, no fatigue, just blood flow. Day 5, cardio conditioning. Rucking, incline walks, swimming, cycling. 20 to 30 minutes max. Recovery and hormone tips for men over 40. Because training is only half the battle. The rest happens outside the gym. Sleep 7 to 9 hours, no compromise. Eat 1 g protein per pound of lean mass. Creatine, vitamin D, magnesium. Ask your doctor. Daily mobility, even 5 minutes. Cold showers post-workout, improve clarity and recovery. Sample week, mixed style. Day focus notes. Monday strength A, lower body deadlift plus lunges. Tuesday recovery plus mobility, walk 30 minutes. Wednesday strength B, upper body pull UPS plus bench plus dips. Thursday optional recovery pump TRX plus bodyweight circuit. Friday 10-2-1 challenge test your engine. Saturday active rest hike. Play. Move like a human. Sunday full rest hydrate. Stretch. Reset. Final word. Train like a father, not a fighter. You're not trying to win Mr. Olympia. You're trying to carry your daughter when she scrapes her knee. To play basketball with your son without limping the next day. To feel strong in your skin. Not sore. Not fragile. This isn't about just building a better body. It's about building a better life. Print this plan. Save it. Do it. And give yourself the gift most men over 40 think is gone. Progress. Final words. This isn't just fitness. It's redemption. When I was younger, I trained for validation. I trained to be the biggest in the room. To lift more than the guy next to me. To impress strangers who, quite frankly, didn't even matter. But something changes after 40. You stop chasing attention, and you start chasing function. You start chasing longevity. You start asking yourself, what kind of man do I want to be for the next 40 years? And here's the truth that nobody tells you. It's not about the six-pack. It's not about bench press numbers. It's not about looking good on a beach for a week in July. It's about waking up pain-free. It's about throwing a ball with your kid, without your shoulder giving out. It's about carrying your wife's suitcase up the stairs, without feeling like your spine's going to snap. It's about being the man your family can count on. The man who walks into a room and radiates quiet strength. Not because of size, but because of presence. I've worked with men who were broken. Physically, emotionally. Men who had given up. Men who thought their best days were behind them. Men who believed that aging meant declining. But I've watched those same men reclaim their bodies, reignite their minds, rediscover their fire, using nothing more than 6 simple movements and 1 decision to change. You don't need a fancy gym. You don't need supplements with names you can't pronounce. You don't need 2 hours a day. You need consistency. You need purpose. You need a plan that doesn't beat you down, but lifts you up. That's what this video was about. Not just exercises, not just reps and sets, but a framework for transformation. The goal isn't to add days to your life. It's to add life to your days. So here's my challenge to you. Try it. Just try these 6 movements. 3 times a week, for 4 weeks. Track how you feel, not just how you look, because something magical happens. When a man recommits to his strength, he walks taller, he speaks clearer, he lives better. And that energy? It spills into everything. Your family, your work, your friendships, your future.